Hey everybody, my name is Scott and I'm happy to be here with you at this year's eBay Open. I've been with eBay for about 17 years, focused on eBay sellers for my entire time at eBay. I've been in this space for as long as I have because I love sellers and the potential that eBay has to bring to those sellers. Today, I'd like to spend a little bit of time talking to you about eBay's API platform, specifically the parts that we offer to sellers and also some new features that we'll be releasing later this year. If you have any questions at all during this presentation, please use the regular Q&A tool, as you have with other sessions, that's available on Bevy. All right, so let's jump in. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing two main things today. One is talking about eBay's API platform as a whole, as well as sharing a bit of information about a few new features that will be available later this year to help sellers who come in through eBay's API platform. So before I get all the way into this, I'm not sure all of you out there know what an API is. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a way for developers or very large sellers to connect with eBay in a way through kind of a programming connection. Many sellers come to eBay and they use our website and our native application, and those are great ways to do that. But a lot of sellers actually come in through this third option, which is a programming interface, either directly through implementations or programming they do on their own, or in some cases, a tool provider that builds a solution that can power many, many tools and offer their services to eBay sellers. To give you a sense of scale in eBay's API platform itself, it's huge. And today I'm going to focus on just the sell side of that platform, but there's a whole other portion of it related to buying activities that we could talk about some other time. But for sellers today, this is the focus. So in totality, we offer solutions to over 9,600 developers and large-scale sellers that come to eBay through the APIs. This is a big population of connections to eBay. And in totality, there are over 330,000 sellers who choose to do business on eBay this way. And they probably come in this way to match their scale and set of needs that they have. Now, just like a website or native application has different areas related to different parts of functionality, the API is the same. So while we offer many things you can do via the API or developers can do via the API, we break it down into individual libraries of APIs for specific functionality. And here at eBay, we have 15 different API suites that are just for powering what sellers need on eBay. Now, APIs can be written in many different languages or offer different formats. And at eBay, we're focusing on rolling out APIs that are based upon what's known as REST technology and JSON. These are the newest and most modern way of building APIs. They're flexible, they're lightweight, they're easy to adopt and integrate with. For sellers, though, some of them are really big. It's good for them to come in through bulk processing. And for that, we actually offer feed-based solutions where sellers or developers can upload large amounts of information at one time and get big answers back at one time. And we do that through various formats known as XML or CSV, which is comma separated values. And in addition to allowing people to make calls at eBay and get responses back from APIs, we also offer what's known as notifications, where we can push out real-time updates. So if you get an offer on a listing or have an order, the third-party developer or the seller can know right away when that happened and get a real-time notification. Because of the scale of third-party developers or sellers we have on eBay that come in for supporting sellers, and the number of sellers themselves, we do a whopping more than 1 billion calls a day through APIs. It is a world-class platform that runs 24/7 with a tremendous amount of support. And just to take it one level deeper, I want to help you understand all the things that you can do or sellers can do with APIs on eBay. They can do account setup and management. They can do payout management, check finance info to figure out their account balances. They can create listings and manage inventory that's already been created on eBay. They can determine which orders have come in. They can update those orders with tracking information. They can communicate with buyers, do returns and cancellations. And starting this year, we're offering APIs that help sellers who come in from this path, or even tool providers that come in to provide tools for sellers, the ability to understand analytics about how that seller's business is performing, and also what new opportunities could exist through powerful research capabilities that we've never offered in API format before. And lastly, once sellers are aware of opportunities, we give them access in the APIs to a whole host of marketing tools that can help them grow and scale their business. As you can see here on the left, these are the things you can do with APIs. The API names down the middle, these are again different groupings of functionality related to those individual areas. And the ones in bold have some APIs I'm going to be talking a bit more about in the second part of this presentation. Either because we've got new functionality or things I want to share with you about them. But before I get into that, just a reminder about the platform and scale itself. All of the new APIs we're rolling out are in what's called REST and JSON format. They're very efficient, lightweight, easy for sellers and third parties to adopt. We offer a high volume, massively parallel processing feed platform to where people can do bulk operations at tremendous scale. We offer real-time platform notifications, and everything you could want about every API I'm going to talk about today and more is available on eBay's main developer website, developer.ebay.com. All right, so now that we've covered the basics of what the foundation of the platform is about for eBay's offering for APIs, I want to take you through 3 brand new features that I'm excited to share that we've either launched this year or will be launching in the coming quarters. The first one I want to talk about is video for listings. And they say you can tell your story with pictures worth 1,000 words, and videos worth even more. Sellers and eBay have been talking about video for a long time. Well, I'm excited to share that earlier this year, we actually launched support for video. And what that means is sellers can upload videos to eBay and attach them to their listings, and those listings show up on eBay's main listing page where buyers can see them and get an even deeper, richer, more fun understanding about what that seller has for sale. So, as I mentioned, we launched this year, and we've launched it in an API-only format. So this means that developers who provide tools to sellers or sellers who have large-scale integrations with eBay can upload their videos to eBay and make use of this feature. That's already live and out there right now. We're going to be expanding this offering to make it available to sellers who come in via our web tools and also the Android or iPhone applications as well. But first, before I move on, I'd like to share with you a little bit more about the types of things we support with video right now and what we're thinking about doing later on. So at present, we limit it to the format of videos limited to MP4 and up to 150 megabytes per video, and we do this using a new API called the Media API. Don't worry about that yet. I'm going to share more on that in a minute. There's a separate API you can use to attach these videos to listings. That can be a new listing or existing listing. And once a video is uploaded, before buyers can see it though, we run through a whole moderation process to make sure that the content's safe, there's no copyright infringement, and that it's in line with the rest of the eBay policies. At present, we limit it to 1 video per listing. And as I mentioned earlier, this will be available to our web-based listing flows and also our Android and iPhone applications later this year. If you are a developer or a seller, it's very important that you understand the process of working with videos on eBay. And this is going to be true whether you're using the API itself or ultimately in our web flows or iPhone or Android applications. But I'm just going to give you an idea of the workflow associated with videos when you use them on eBay right now. There are really 3 steps to the process. 1 is uploading the video. 2 is making sure the video is safe and compliant with eBay's policies. And the last part is attaching that video to a listing so that buyers can ultimately see it. So when we're talking about the APIs, again, this is how sellers can do this today with direct integrations to APIs or through third-party tool providers. The first thing they'll do is upload a video itself to eBay using something called a Media API. And this is brand new. And there's plenty of documentation on developer.ebay.com that will explain how to do this. But when you upload that video to eBay, the very first thing that happens is it returns back an ID that can be used to reference that video for the rest of the process. Now, a developer or a seller can immediately take that ID for that video using the API and put that on a listing, either a new listing or an existing listing using something called the Trading API or LMS, which is our bulk version of that. But that's pretty much the scenario here. Upload the video, attach it to a listing, either a new listing or an existing listing. So that's step 1 and 3. But what about step 2? The minute someone uploads a video, step 2 kicks off in the background. You don't have to wait for it to happen. You can use that video ID right away. But eBay runs through that moderation process to make sure the video is safe. And the minute that it's processed and becomes safe, any buyers who've been looking at that listing where they didn't see the video before, it will just magically appear. The seller doesn't have to do anything more once the approval process is complete. And if for some reason the evaluation of that video turns out to yield some sort of problem, either it's the wrong formats or there's some challenge in it, copyright or policy, there's a notification that goes back to the seller or the third-party developer so they know what to do better and can upload the video again and repeat the process. But it's 3 simple steps. That's true whether you're using the API, which I've talked about now, or later this year when you're using the Webflow or the native application. But again, we're very excited to bring video to sellers this year, and you maybe already see it out there today if you've been shopping on eBay. The next important feature I want to talk about is something called coded coupons. And if you as sellers have paid attention to seller announcements earlier this year, we launched this feature and we were very excited to do so. Now this feature has been on deck for a while, for a little bit with eBay. And a part of that is we've taken a massive investment with eBay to make this a full-fledged first-class product. It's not shown here in this totality on this slide, but we've made sure that coupons that sellers create are visible to buyers at every stage of the purchase process flow. That's whether the buyer is searching for something on eBay, whether it's in the listing page once they click through to that, or if they've even got the item in their cart and they're deciding what to buy. Any place that a buyer is eligible for a coupon that a seller creates, we make sure it's easy for the buyer to adopt and clear for them to know that it's there for their use. Now, part of the reason I'm excited about coupons, and sellers are too, is because of, as I mentioned, that depth and richness we've offered to the coupon experience. We've made a lot of investment around this, but that's not the only reason we want you to use coupons as sellers or our third-party developers either. We want you to use them because they're highly impactful. If you look at this chart over here on the upper right, this is the growth of coupon usage up through about May of this year. The trend continues, but this data I wanted to share with you. But you can see we've had almost immediate growth out of the gates, and it's been explosive growth. For legal reasons, I can't share with you the scale that's on the left-hand side of that graph, but I can assure you that's well into the 7 digits or more in terms of the amount of sales today that are using coupons on eBay. In addition to the quantitative impact, sellers are expressing their love and joy for coupons. This is a tiny example of that. If you're active in the community, or maybe using them yourself, you're already aware of this. So while we've seen all this growth in usage of coupons via our web-based tools and our native application launch this year, we want to bring this power to our third-party community as well through our APIs. So this will enable sellers who directly integrate with eBay through APIs or our third parties to utilize coded coupons as well. And we've done this inside of an existing API that was out there. eBay last year launched an API called the Marketing API that allows sellers and third parties to market listings on eBay using a variety of tools, whether that's a sale event, a markdown event, or using promoted listings. That can all already be done through this API today. And the process is pretty simple. You define your campaign criteria for what type of discount or marketing tool you want to use, which inventory you want it to apply to, either picking individual item IDs or rules around which listings you want to provide a marketing campaign for, and then away you go. So we've already seen great usage of the Marketing API, and we wanted to make this new coded coupon functionality fit right in there and be as easy to use as the rest of the features. So we've actually managed to keep the exact same campaign creation constructs the same. So choosing which inventory and what rule and how you want to express the rules around that to set up any past marketing campaign, you can now also do with coded coupons. What's new is the definition for the coded coupons themselves, where you can specify the coupon type, the discount amount, how many times a buyer can use it, set a budget to make sure sellers don't overspend, and it's really powerful, just the same way we offer inside of Seller Hub. So let me give you a quick reminder of what it looks like in Seller Hub, and I'll show you an example of how it will be available in the API later this year in Q3. So this is Seller Hub, this is my account, and this is the marketing area of Seller Hub where sellers can come to create coupons. To create a coupon, you'd go into this drop down here and select the coupon option. That would take you over to this page here where the seller can put in the details for the coupon. They're able to define a coupon code an internal offer name so they can keep track of it, define the details around the coupon, whether it's public or private, the type of discount, whether it's an absolute amount or a percentage-based discount, any limits to make sure they don't offer more spend on the coupon than they're prepared to do so, and then ultimately pick the items that they want to have part of this, either by providing item IDs or defining rules about which inventory they want to include. So this same capability is now going to be available in API form for third-party developers to use to support sellers. To show you an example of this is a tool called Postman that allows me to interact with the API, and I'll take you through some demos of what the upcoming API is going to look like for creating coupons for sellers on eBay. This first example I'll show you is going to be an extra $5 off when spending $50 or more. It's going to be a public coupon, and it covers one item that I've selected here, which is some Miss Pac-Man stickers that I'm selling, so I specify the item ID. Before I do that, though, I want to show you the listing. This is what it would look like to buyers today without the part of the top, because I'm looking at me, given that I am the seller. But no mention of coupons. So once I fire this API request off here, we'll get a response back. It'll have all the details up to and including the actual coupon ID that I've just created. And I'll go back over here and I can refresh the page for you. And there it is. There's the indication of the coupon that's available. So buyers can see this and now interact with it here on the View Item page or in the cart as they go to checkout and many other places. So that's an example of a coupon for $5 off $50 or more. Before we wrap up here, I'd like to show you one more example of a different type of coupon. This is a percentage-based coupon, so 20% off all items in a category where I'm selling rain gear. Similarly, I'm able to define the coupon code type here at the top. This is the coupon code that buyers would see and use. Define the start and end date, the image that buyers see around this, the value of the coupon, the budget for the coupon, and rather than specifying an item ID, I'm specifying everything in this particular category ID. So I'll send this one off too, and came back successful. Here is the listing it would look like beforehand, and if I were to refresh this, sometimes it takes a minute. There it is. There's the coupon that can help buyers for items in this category now. Very easy to use. I didn't show you the full examples, but the API will offer the ability to create promotions, create coupons, end coupons, suspend them, resume them, even delete them. And sellers who use the API can also see those coupons created and showing up here in Seller Hub as well, as you can see at the bottom of this page. So that's it, powerful coupons via the API, and it's an exciting way for people who come in for these tools to help buyers. The next and last feature I'm going to tell you about today relates to something called Terapeak. Now, Terapeak is not a new name for some of you sellers out there or third-party developers, but just in case you're not familiar, I'll give you a brief overview of what it is. So Terapeak used to be an independent company that provided rich access to eBay's sales history, transaction history, sales volume, and it was a very well-respected and useful tool. It had limitations, though, on the amount of inventory that was available, the history of it, how real-time it is, meaning how soon transactions got into the system, and the types of views or filters you had against the data. So eBay acquired Terapeak about 2.5 years ago, and since then we've brought all the power of Terapeak into Seller Hub. We've rebuilt the platform entirely to make sure that it's more real-time. Within seconds, usually transactions appear into the system versus days before in the past. We've extended it to 3 years sales history and offered a rich set of new views for these things. Terapeak is a powerful tool for helping sellers identify price competitiveness, for researching their existing listings, how to price them effectively, or new things they want to sell. It will also provide supply and demand gaps for inventory that's available to know basically where there's demand on the site that maybe sellers haven't gotten, want to get into. And also just about understanding what other types of sellers might be in the space to see how many competitors they might face or are facing in a given area. So again, before I jump into the API feature around this, I want to give you an overview of what this looks like in Seller Hub today. So if I come over here to Terapeak in Seller Hub, I can give you a few examples of how it works. Let me take you through the basics of what's in this experience. I'll start with an example for iPhone 12 Pro, where I can enter in this search term and pick the category that I want to do the research within. From within that, I can further filter it down by condition. So I'm going to pick condition new. I'm going to pick fixed price listings, leave out auction listings for this example, and I'll stop there. If I scroll down to the page, what I'm able to see here is three areas where there's meaningful information. The first one is this blue band across the top, which has all the key details about transactions that have occurred for that criteria that I just entered for between 1 to 3 years on eBay. You've got average price, you've got the sold price range, average shipping, free shipping, total sold, sell-through rate, total sellers, and total sales. That is a key bit of summary information that sellers can use to make a lot of powerful decisions. Down here lower in the page, we actually do present the summary of transactions by item on eBay, again matching that criteria, going back for that same 1 to 3 year period. This can be really helpful to get a sense of actual listings and transactions that have occurred, and it's possible to sort it by a number of different characteristics: sold price, average shipping, total sales, and so on and so forth. That's the second bit of useful information that sellers typically look for when they come to utilize Terapeak and Seller Hub. The third area is sales trends. So we offer several different views to help sellers get an idea of the velocity of different things as they sell on eBay, either increasing or decreasing, and what's really happening in the marketplace. So a combination of that summary information, the supporting listing and transaction data, and then the graphs that help with sales velocity up or down are really the essence of what Terapeak provides to sellers for the product research portion of Terapeak. This has been available in Seller Hub for some time, but we're getting ready to launch this API to help sellers who come in from third parties to build visual experiences like this, or even in some cases allow them to make programmatic decisions and automate some of the pricing decisions or sourcing decisions about their inventory. So let me give an example of what that looks like. Over here, I'll come back to Postman again, and the first operation I'm going to show you mimics that first band across the top of Terapeak. Here I'm able to put in that same search term, define the date ranges, the listing format, the category, and a number of other details that I want to see. I can submit this request, and sure enough, that same data comes back here in the bottom to where, again, sellers who are using third-party tools or coming in from a direct integration can get access to that data real-time, anytime throughout the day. The next one, I'll do it again for iPhone, is going to be able to retrieve that supporting data. So this is transaction information accumulated at the listing level for that time period. This gives true evidence and support for the information provided in that summary section, and can also help sellers or third-party developers make sure the items that they're seeing pricing from directly matches as to what the seller is trying to do research about or sell. The third area is going to be that velocity information. Let me show you a different example of that real quick. We're able to see basically for different dates that have occurred, the items sold, the average price on that specific date. And you can use this to build together a view that helps understand whether the trends are increasing or decreasing for specific inventory on the site. So many people, when they see things like this, assume that it only works well for strictly catalog-based, hard manufactured goods. And I just wanted to give you a few examples to show you that Terapeak does work in other areas too. So this example here works for a DKNY blue blouse, and we could do refinements by size or color and other details too. But just to give you an idea, it's very possible to pull back these same market trends for inventory that's a little bit more loosely defined, but still really important for sellers to understand the metrics and trends of what's happening in the marketplace. And if that's not enough, to give you one more very long tail example, we can even do the same for a 1930s Mills QT-based slot machine for the collectible space. Again, on eBay, we've got data for everything, and you're able to see that we can pull back the same stats for something even as unique as this. A very powerful tool to help sellers and third-party developers. Terapeak is something that sellers have loved for a very long time, whether it's been an API whether it's in their user experience, but now we're able to get an API and unlock the power of Terapeak at even greater scale. All right, so just a few more things here before I close off and end this over. As I mentioned, the API is coming later this year, and while Terapeak supports a lot of different functionality, we are beginning with product research. It's what everything I told you about today. Terapeak has other feature sets that'll be coming later, but this first round is for the most popular part of Terapeak, which is product research, and it covers that strip information with the summary details about price, sales trend, number of competitive sellers, sell-through rate, shipping trends, It includes the actual graph and the time series data that powers those graphs, so you can understand whether something's speeding up or slowing down on eBay, as well as the supporting information for both transactions and live listings. In addition to that, we wanted to help sellers really understand, when they're making decisions about whether they should use, not just what they should sell and what they should price it at, but what types of other marketing tools they should use, whether that's coupons, whether it's Markdown Manager, whether it's sale events or promoted listings, the things that are available in the marketing API. We also expose whether a transaction is sold through promoted listings or whether the seller was using a markdown for that or sale event, or even best offer to find out the final price that an item closed for in best offer. A lot of powerful information that'll be available to sellers that come in from the API, as well as developers who provide tools to sellers. Now, this information is very powerful and rich, and we want to make it wildly available to sellers who come in for the API in the same way we've done through Seller Hub. But we also want to make sure that very powerful data is meant to help sellers with their business on eBay and not other places. So as part of that, unlike other APIs that you may be familiar with or as a developer have used before at eBay, we're going to do something new here, which is a tiered level of access. So we're working out the finer details on this with our beta testers right now, but the gist of it, or the basics of it, will be, sellers who are already performing above a certain level in a category will have virtually unlimited access to the data for that category, meaning the breadth of data, the depth of data, and the number of queries they can make per day, meaning searches they can do per day to find out about their inventory and really optimize it to its fullest extent. However, for categories where a seller isn't yet selling in, but is interested to find out more about, we will let that seller and developer who's supporting that seller make a limited number of calls into that, queries per day. So we want to provide the opportunity for research for people considering moving into a new category or new inventory space, but really not make the data almost unlimited access to it until someone's been able to build up sales and demonstrate they're utilizing that for the marketplace of eBay itself. So really excited about this, if you can't tell. Happy to put it into the hand of developers. This has been something we've been working towards for a couple of years now, and it's coming in Q3 of this year in a beta and a full launch in GA in Q4. Now, we do have beta testers, meaning developers are coming early to utilize this API to give us feedback around this, as well as sellers who want to do their own implementations. We are accepting beta spots for beta developers and beta sellers. If you are interested in this, please go to developer.ebay.com, look up the Terrapic API, and there's a clear place where you can request to be one of those beta developers to get early access to this in Q3, and it will be available to everyone starting in Q4. All right, so that's my presentation today. Hopefully it was exciting for you. I get excited every time I talk about it. Gave you a bit of overview about what eBay's APIs are, the scale and nature of what they do, the types of things that we offer to sellers, and 3 very new features that are either already in your hands this year or will be launching very soon to make your experience with eBay even better if you are a seller who comes in from APIs directly or a third-party tool developer who builds powerful solutions for sellers and new things you can do to offer to your sellers to help them out. So thank you very much. Again, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and happy to answer questions at this point. Thank you.